Hi guys, this is Ms.Hong. Today is May 15th, Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. We are like a day before the weekend. And good news, next Friday, no school. Next Monday, no school cause Memorial Weekend, and superintendent decided to use unused snow day on next Friday. So you will have like 4-day weekend. So yoo-hoo. So let's keep working. Alright. Look at this, guys. So yesterday's homework, I assigned some geometric sequence problem. So literally you're just using the formula, right? So today is the basically same thing, but we will use some real world problem. So you will have word or context, and from the sentences we need to figure out what is my A1, what is my R. You need to figure that out, and after that you build up your explicit formula, and then we will find the missing value. Okay, so look, I just wrote it how to how to solve the geometric sequence word problem. So here's the steps. Step 1, read question carefully. So any word problem, to solve it you need to read. If you don't read, you never ever get it. Alright, so you need to read it. And 2, when you read, you will realize A1 and R. So they will say it first, the value was this, and it increased by like multiplied by 3 or 3 times more than before, something like that. You will see the keyword. So you need to catch those words. So our goal is just getting A1 and R. Alright, initial and the common ratio. So once you get it, what do you do next? Explicit formula. You write it for the explicit formula. Alright, and then find the missing value. So yesterday we did that kind of thing. So an equals 5 times 2 to the n minus 1. If you get your explicit form, then you can get whatever term, a fifth, then you do 5 times 2 to the 5 minus 1, and you just calculate the number, then you will get the answer, right? So we did that one yesterday, and like this week actually we did this one, and today we are applying it to the real world problem. Alright, so guided practice 1. Let's look at this. So it says the sequence below will have a pattern to keep going to nth term, right? And day 1, how many dots you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You have 6. So I'm gonna write it for 6. And day 2, how many do you have? That's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12. So it looks like times by 2, because 6 to 12, right? And let's see day 3. You know that's 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 3 times by 8, 24, right? Times by 2 times by 2. Yeah, that's geometric sequence. My initials 6, common ratio 2, right? You can get the information from your given. Alright, and look at this. What is a pattern in the sequence? Explain. So I can explain it like you have 6 dots in day 1. Then the number of dots get twice. Okay, so I want to write it like that. You can write anything. You can write any explanation that's like having that makes sense with the problem. And what kind of sequence is it? What is the common difference or common ratio? We know this is geometric, right? So you say it, this is geometric sequence. Geometric sequence. And what is the common difference or common ratio? Common ratio, because there's no common difference because that's geometric sequence. My common ratio is what? Times by 2. So that is 2. What is the value of A1? What is the value of A1? That is 6, right? A1 is 6. What is the value of A3? So that means what? Day 3, right? We already got it. That's 24, right? And what is the value of A4? Then you know A4 because it was 24. Then your next term will be multiply by 2 from 24. So will be 48 for the A4. Explain or show your work to support your answer. Because R equals 2 and third term is 24. So A4 equals 2 times by 24. So you get 48. You can answer that for number 5, right? Write a recursive formula for the sequence above. So why there's question mark? Erase it. So for that one, we just write the recursive form, right? So recursive formula, that is an equals an minus 1. And what do you need here? Your common ratio, right? So my common ratio is 2. So you have that, and told you we need to keep our initial value, which is 6, like that. Then you're done. So you know, literally it's the same work. You just have like sentences, right? It's not short. You have some word together, but we can do it. So guided practice 1 is done, and I want you to do this kind of question, guys. Guided practice 2. So look at this. A virus reproduces by dividing into 2. Oh my god, virus, that reminds me coronavirus, right? But coronavirus, not even 2. One person can infect more than 10 people at a time. So that's more like scary than this one. But anyway, a virus reproduces by dividing into 2. And after a certain growth period, it divides into 2 again. So it keeps dividing it by 2. So you know, there was one virus here. After like few hours, it turned to 2 viruses, right? And then more, like that. It goes like this. So but think about it, guys. Coronavirus, one virus can be like 10. Then this 10 gets another 10, right? So it's like, that's so scary. And guys, look, I did this. And the question is, how many viruses will be in the system starting with a single virus after 10 divisions? That's kind of tricky, so we need to look at this. After, you know what? After 10 divisions, right? After 10 divisions. Then, guys, let's think about it. So this one, we started from 1, right? We started from 1, and then 2, and then 4, and then 8. So you know your common ratio will be 2, right? Obviously, my common ratio is 2. But the thing is, can I say this is A1? That's our problem. Can I say this is A1? 1 means 1 division. 1 division. But this single number, that is, you didn't divide it. You just started from 1, right? After 1 division, then this one will be after 1 division. So you know what, this case, I'm not gonna call this as my initial. I will let this as A1, because this 1 means what? After 1 division. Actually, this one is my first number, but You didn't divide it into 2. You just started. That's the starting value. So for this, I'm gonna say it A0. Okay? And A1. And this is A2. So look, let's see if that makes sense or not. So 4, right? After 2 division, right? Then you get 4, right? After 2 divisions, you get 4. Okay? And then after 3 divisions, you get 8. So, let's look at this question. 1, is the sequence arithmetic or geometric? Explain your answer. That is geometric. We know that because the number of virus increases 1, 2, 4, 8, like that, right? And then write the first 3 terms. So I will write it 1, 2, 4, 8, like something like that. And then write an explicit formula for this sequence. So you know what? When we write the explicit formula, we need A1, right? So I'm gonna ignore my A0. I know that's initial, the question gave, but we need to use this so that we can get, after 10 division, we can use A10, alright? So for this, I'm gonna do AN equals what? We started from 2, right? 2 times my common ratio, that's 2, to the n minus 1, right? Then n is what? N is after n divisions, right? And number 4, it says what? How many viruses will be in a system starting with a single virus after 10 divisions, right? So don't get tricked for this. You started with single virus, but we cannot say that's A1, that's A0, all right? A0. So after 10 divisions, then that will be A10 after 10 divisions, and you can just use this explicit formula. 2 times 2 to the 10 minus 1, right? So 2 times 2 to the 9th power, that's 1 here. So anyway, in total you have 10 2's, right? So 2 to the 10 power, which is 1024. You can use a calculator for this. So 1024, that's my answer. Alright? So guys, this is kind of tricky, but think about it. You started from 1, but ask yourself, is that after 1 division or not? No. There's no division. We just started from that. So that's why I put it as A0, right? After 1 division, right? Then that turned to 2. So I'm gonna call this is my A1. Alright? And you know, when we write the explicit formula, we use A1 as the initial, right? So that's why I put 2, not 1. Okay? And then other thing is exactly same as like what we did before. Alright? And number 4, after 10 division, this is already after n division, right? So 10 division, then you can just put 10 into n. Alright? So that's it. So you will have that kind of question, and you know what, even the question just ask you this one only. That's your question. They didn't ask about this, like skip, you don't have that question, but you just have this question. You still need to figure out 1, 2, 3 to get your answer. Step by step. I want you to get these, and finally you will get your answer. Alright? So, oh, guys, today's lesson quiz. What is Miss Ross's favorite sports? It is basketball. Right? So her favorite sports is basketball. So please answer correctly. I told you, if you get it wrong, you don't get the credit for that. Oh my God, I have 10 seconds. Guys, bye-bye. See you on Monday. Alright? Have great weekend.